How's it going, everyone? This is Eman from TCGWise123, and today I'm bringing you guys a deck profile that I took to duel days on Sunday at my local shop. So let's get right into it. It's a dark fire nature, dark Saberbolt. That's probably like the normal term that you would call this deck, but let's get started. So we'll start off with the darkness section. We got one dark return just to get back any creature that you want in this deck. I still really like the card. Two grudge waivers because I don't have three gloom hollows, but it still did work anyway, especially against the rush matchup, which is always a scary matchup with this deck, but I'm able to pull it off surprisingly. So there's that. Three bone blades, standard removal. Two black feathers. What what gave me interest to this card was, one, it's getting a foil treatment on the triple strike deck, so it sparked my curiosity, and so I decided to test it on this deck because the problem with Dark Saberbolt is that you run out of hands. You run out of cards in your hand very quickly, and that's pretty much the point of this deck, because you want to be very aggressive throughout the whole match and pretty much want to overwhelm your opponent. But I really like to have cards in hand, whatever the deck may be for its goal. And so I tested out Black Feather, and uh, you know, like I in some matchups, like, it was good, and in other matchups they're bad. But that's why there are tech choices, right? So I would put them down in bad matchups, and then I would bring them up in good matchups. It's not a terrible card really, but it's it's somewhat of an interesting tech choice that I've made. And so there's that. The standard removal, three Terrapits, two Jet Claws. And this guy's really important, as I stated before, because I really like having cards in my hand, and like this deck just does the complete opposite. So these two were pretty much like just giving me like cards in my hand, and like there's pretty decent amount of dragons in this deck, especially for the fire section. So there's that, and then the last tech that I'm running is Gregoria's Fortress. This card's pretty cool. An interesting situation happened, like not in the duel days that particularly happened, but against playtesting against my friends, where like I had Gregory on the field, and I also had Black Feather on the field, and what ended up happening was, whenever his creatures were banished, because they would choose to either banish Gregorio or any of my other creatures, I ended up drawing from Black Feather, which like completely blew my mind. And so that was a pretty neat trick that happened right there. Sadly, it didn't happen in duel days, but some things happen and some doesn't. So that's the darkness section. I believe that's 15 dark. We'll be moving on to the only two multi-civilization cards, which is the one Soul Vortex and the one Shade Blaze. Uh, Again, with Soul Vortex being that it's getting the foil treatment in the triple strike, it sparked my curiosity to try it, and it's actually not that bad, especially against the rush matchup and against Megabugs, because like they're running like little weenie creatures, and like you can just like get back a level 4 or less, like a Heal of Flame, or like any of your Sabertooth bait, or any of your blockers when you're facing the rush matchup. So it's actually not a decent card. Could have been better, but overall, like, it's pretty cool. And the one Shade Blaze, because I only have one, and like I ended up pulling it last week, and what made me want to build the deck anyway. Well, one of the factors that made me want to run this deck. and because like ever since like I saw this card when Clash came out, like I was instantly like fell in love with this card because the artwork is amazing and the cost to power ratio is like nothing to laugh about, and its ability becoming a potential 8 for 11,000 bolt tail is just it's just nothing to laugh about. So those are the only two multi-civilization cards. We're moving on to the fire section. We got the one overcharge. It's a neat tech. It also has synergy with Black Feather whenever I get to banish any creatures by attacking. So that's pretty cool. Two Heal of Flames, just for like pushing the game to fall in your favor. Two Chain Lash, again, just to give some synergy with Black Feather. One General Sky Crusher. This has really been an amazing card. Ever since Clash came out, it's really been useful, especially when you're turn 7 General Sky Crusher, turn 8 Billion Degree, like attack anything over with like 9,000 power, and then if you already have Black Feather on the field, you end up drawing for that. It's just fantastic. And then for even more fast attacks, two Bolt Tails, because why not? You have to be aggressive. And then the last two Fire Civilization cards is the Tomb of Furnace Awaken, because with the nature that we have, we can mana excel very quickly. So why not add it in there just for the lockdown and for the triple break. So that is 11 fire, and the last section is nature. It looks pretty solid. It's uh, 3 picklebacks, 2 sprouts, 3 fear fang, all bait for the 3 sabertooth, 2 reaping sows, and 3 root traps. Basic removal. I like reaping sow at 2. Surprisingly, I've been able to consistently get turn 2 sprout, turn 3 reaping sow, and like just like bring out like any level 6 drop on turn 5, which is pretty good. I mean turn 4, my bad. But I I tried I since Duel Days was giving you a promo sprout, it's getting the hollow treatment. It also sparked my interest again to try this card because I like the card was okay like when I was using it like throughout like the beginning of this game, and like it was really great for mana excelling, but recently through due to the heavy control builds, like I just didn't felt like the need to run this card or even run nature besides like the random splash root trap, because for some reason you can do that in this game. But I decided to try it since it's getting the foil treatment, and thank goodness I have, because the card was absolutely amazing, especially against rush, because like it ramps you to like your big creatures really fast, especially when you're facing against rush. It gets you to your awaken much faster, which is really good. Fear Fang, funny story actually. For one, I like the 3 for 3,000 body. It's actually really good. It gets over like the little weenies from the Dracons and the Mega Bugs as well, and like that's the whole deck. And a lot of changes that I would make is obviously the 2 weaponized Razor Cats. Honestly, I completely forgot that I had 2 of them, because I haven't really bought like a lot of Clash cards, and so I completely forgot that I had weaponized Razor Cats. This should have been like a no-brainer in this deck, but um I'm not saying that Fear Fang was a bad choice, because like it was actually decent, but due to weaponized Razor Cat being a multi-civ card, a dual civ card, and like the potential of it like mana screwing you is is something to be taken considered. Even though I'm only running two, and adding in two more, like four dual SIF cards, wouldn't be a problem at all. It's still something that I considered, but again, I completely forgot that I had weaponized razor cancel. That's something that could be added to this deck. That honestly should be. And another one that I had in mind was two Jacklacks. Um, Basically a cheaper and bigger body than Fear Fame, but the only problem is it's only a skirmisher, which is actually not that bad. I mean, there's a deciding factor right there. You know, um, it's either um, free will of attack or uh, not mana screwing you in the long run with only skirmisher. So that's pretty much the difference between those two. And two other cards that I could have taken considered was uh, either adding in another Bolt Tail, counting bumping up another fast attacker, which is really important to this deck, and then a Spellbane Dragon, just because with all the heavy control decks, this is like a great uh I don't know if I should say anti-control, but since control uses a lot of spells, like this is like a great card to use against them, and like it fuels yourself to like bring you closer to game. So that's the whole deck that I took to duel days on Sunday. Let me know what you guys think. I know there's like a lot of like weird choices that I made for this deck, but I think by not having the cards that you usually have, like it brings up like interesting tech choices that you put in the deck, like Black Feather. But I'll be using a different deck with different color combinations. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate, and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. And take care.